Hey gang, back with another video for you today. Today I'm taking on one of my favorite niche houses that I discovered back in 2012, maybe a little earlier. And the fragrance that I discovered this house with was Straight to Heaven. So today I'm ranking 21 of their fragrances that I have in my collection. And there are a few ladies targeted fragrances, although all these fragrances should be unisex enough. And I'm going to rank them for you. And then there are some discontinued fragrances in this collection as well. Sadly that they are discontinued, but some of my favorite fragrances of all time since I've been in this hobby of collecting and reviewing fragrances. So if you want to learn by Kilian, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today I'm taking on by Kilian, ranking 21 of their fragrances. These are 21 fragrances that I have in my collection, that I've bought fragrances. And if you have caught my recent video, I did an hour-long Zoom video with Steve from By Kilian. We discuss a lot of their fragrances and the brand and everything to do with the brand. And in that video, I think we covered some of my favorite delicious fragrances from the brand. So if you haven't watched that, please do that. But we're going to rank them today. As I said, before we do that, if this is your first time tuning into this channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Yes, I discovered By Kilian around 2012, maybe a little earlier than that, with their fragrance Straight to Heaven. I fell in love with that fragrance, immediately bought a travel set, and then I gave that to a friend and I immediately, not immediately, but like later on ended up with a bottle. So that fragrance is here in this list. I've tied it with the extreme version because there is an extreme version of Straight to Heaven as well. And also I thought, you know what? Since there is the original, the intense or extreme version of Straight to Heaven, plus there's Ursa from Tiziana Terenzi that also smells like, you know, Straight to Heaven. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a comparison video. If you're up for that, let me know. But why don't we go ahead and start off with number 21. And this is a fragrance that I started loving, but then I ended up like not really loving anymore. It's almost like it was, I slowly grew into enjoying it, but then I kind of like fell out of love with it. And I mean, I still have my bottle and there's some left in there. It's called Cruel Intentions, this one right here. And Cruel Intentions, you know, it was sold to me. It was like the fragrance that like the sales associate at Saks that sold By Kilian was like, oh my God, this is the best fragrance. I don't know if it was like a numbers thing. They were trying to, you know, get numbers up for this fragrance, but it was one that I actually had to, you know, pick up. And I finally have it, and you know, well, not finally. It's been since probably about 2014 since I've had this. It's a decent scent, but it just kind of doesn't do it for me. But it's one that actually features oud, some you know, syrupy kind of a creamy Guaiac wood. There's some papyrus in there, a little violet, a little rose. The rose does come in, but I think it's just a kind of like a Middle Eastern Oriental style of oud and other kind of like Oriental notes, including the rose. It's a decent fragrance. As I said, I loved it when I first got it, but I kind of like grew out of love with it. But that's why it's ranking at 21. So that's Cruel Intentions. The next one at number 20 is Pure Oud. This one right here. So Pure Oud is exactly that. It's pure oud. It's nothing but oud, Guaiac wood. There's loads of saffron touches in here. There's definitely Cypriol or some papyrus-like smell. And there's some balm in here, Copahu balm. In the end, I find this to be not necessarily sweet, except for the sweetness that comes in from the Copahu and maybe perhaps the Guaiac. Everything else is very savory, so the experience is also savory. But this is part of the Middle Eastern collection, and or the Arabian Nights collection, I think it was what it was called. And I think the Arabian Nights collection is all discontinued, although you can probably still find some out there if you buy them. But if you want a pure oud smell, then definitely check this one out. I don't think they're using real oud, but perhaps they are. To me, it smells like a combination of Western or synthetic oud versus the real stuff. Anyway, Pure Oud is at number 20. Now this one actually is still available, and this is part of the Arabian Nights collection. This is the only one that was not discontinued here. This is Musk Oud, created by Alberto Morillas. Now it's at the bottom, and I really love this one actually, but you know, when I was ranking this whole list, I had to rank it this way, and this ended up at the bottom, sadly. But this is a combination of musk Oud Rose. Again, it smells kind of like that Middle Eastern Oriental kind of a oudy kind of fragrance with musk and saffron and rose and oud. There's some spices in here as well, coriander, there's some artemisia. It's a great scent. It's just when I'm ranking them against the other fragrances from this house, it ends up at number 19. And sadly, this is the one that they kept and discontinued all the others, which includes pure oud, incense oud, rose oud, and amber oud. And those are coming up, and I love those ones more than this one. But if I can only have this one, I guess this is the only one I can have. So this is Musk Oud. Let me know if you like this one. Did you know it was created by Alberto Morillas? At number 18, it's Moonlight in Heaven, this one right here. So this one actually, it's a love it or hate it fragrance. Sometimes I really love it, and sometimes I'm thinking to myself, what's the deal with this fragrance? Why doesn't it like jump out at me? Why doesn't it wow me? And when I look at the notes, it's probably why. Mango, coconut, rice, vetiver, grapefruit, pink pepper, tonka, and lemon. So there's something about a very simplistic thing about this one. It seems like it doesn't scream, the notes don't. It's a bit of a subdued kind of sense, so none of the smells kind of jump out at me. I think that's why I have a love it or hate it relationship with this one. The coconut kind of like tones down everything, I think. Takes away the smell of a lot of the other things. And mangoes, actually, they do have a pretty intense smell when you smell the fruit, but I don't find the smell of mangoes to be like really jumping out at me. So in the end, it's kind of like a, I don't want to say skin scent because it's not quite that, but it kind of acts like a skin scent. But I think it's very, very pleasant, and I love that blue bottle. Anyway, this is Moonlight in Heaven, and that's at number 18. This next one, I think it's discontinued. I'm not 100% sure. This is Light My Fire from, by Kilian again. Now, Light My Fire is part of the Addiction or Addictive kind of a series of fragrances, which includes Light My Fire, Smoke for the Soul, and Intoxicated. And this one actually features tobacco. Loads of tobacco with hay. It's got patchouli, vanilla, cumin, vetiver. So it's a very unique scent. Almost like a love it or hate it. The tobacco and the honey kind of do very interesting things together. It's not, anything like Back to Black, which is also tobacco and honey, which is one of my favorites. This one is at the bottom because it's a unique scent. It has a very unique smell. The hay that's in here throws it into like a curveball. There's a little bit of that cumin that comes in. In the end, it's a great scent. That's why I have it. I have all three of the Addiction series of the fragrances, with Intoxicated being my favorite. But Light My Fire, if you like tobacco with honey and that interesting hay note, check that one out. Okay, so this next one at number 16 is A Taste of Heaven. And A Taste of Heaven is a lavender fragrance. And the lavender part about this fragrance reminds me of Caron Poranum de Caron, kind of like that aromatic and oriental kind of a fragrance where they're combining it with vanilla because there's vanilla in here. But lavender matched with Wormwood, the absinthe. So this one's like an absinthe kind of a fragrance, and that if you've ever had absinthe or things like ouzo or pastis and things like that, you might like this. But it's interesting because it's matched with the lavender, so it kind of goes into two different directions, slightly boozy, slightly lavendery, anise kind of all comes to mind. It's actually a great scent. It just happens to be here because I prefer some of the other ones more down there, but it does remind me of Caron Poranum de Caron when you remove the wormwood part, the absinthe part. But we've got the lavender, wormwood, vanilla, tonka beans, amber, oakmoss, patchouli, geranium, bergamot. As soon as I smell it, it just totally takes me to Caron Poranum de Caron direction. But when you're wearing it, the wormwood pops, then it just goes into a different direction. So it's kind of like a unique concoction where one minute it reminds me of something and then it goes into that other direction, which makes it more interesting. Anyway, A Taste of Heaven is a great, great scent from by Kilian. Now this next one is Smoke for the Soul, one using cannabis, this one right here at number 15. This is cannabis, eucalyptus, mate, birchwood, tobacco, grapefruit, cardamom, cashmere wood. Now when I put my nose to this, it reminds me of a eucalyptus forest. Here in California, we have a lot of eucalyptus trees, loads of it. And when you're walking near them, when it's really cold outside and wet and drippy, you can smell them. And when I put my nose to this, it kind of smells like that. when I'm wearing it, the cannabis pops more. For some reason, I guess I'm a little more sensitive to the smell of eucalyptus than cannabis, because that's all I'm smelling here when I put this to my nose. So it's an interesting kind of an herbal, green, aromatic kind of a note, which I really, really like. That's why this one ranks higher than Light My Fire, because I just like the way it smells, and the smell, how it jumps out at me. So this one's, after all, cannabis, eucalyptus, mate. So there's a mate note here, and that's why this is like an ultra green fragrance experience. You also have some Birchwood, which adds smoky touches, tobacco, even more, grapefruit, cardamom, cashmere wood. It's a great, great scent. It's sadly, I think it discontinued, sadly. So I need to pick up anything that I can, like a refill of this, if I can, anytime soon, because it's sad that it's discontinued. I think that it is discontinued. If you guys know for sure, let me know. But Smoke for the Soul is a great fragrance featuring eucalyptus and cannabis. Now this next one ended up here at number 14. It's one of the Russian exclusives with the egg bottles. This is it right here. This is called Criminal of Love, and I've had this since probably around 2014. I ordered it from eBay, from Russia it came. As you can see, it says Criminal of Love right here. This one actually smells so good, guys. It's an overdose of, what do you call it? Papyrus overdose. Really, really beautiful papyrus, but there's loads of patchouli, I love, rose, I love, incense, I love, saffron, I love, cardamom, cedar, immortelle. Great, great combinations. Now sometimes papyrus kind of tricks my nose. It does sometimes remind me of patchouli, but not all the time. So I think the patchouli and the papyrus are working wonderfully together, because when I smell it, I do get more papyrus and with the saffron and rose connected, and the patchouli comes in afterwards because it's more of a base note. I mean, papyrus is also pretty much a base note, but I guess I'm a little sensitive to the papyrus in here. But it's a very, very sexy fragrance with a very unique bottle, which sadly I think is discontinued, but a great scent. If you can get yourself a bottle of that, you should. It's really, really wonderful. Now this next one, I only have it in a little atomizer collection that I bought a long time ago. This is Amber Oud. It's in a bottle like this. Sadly, I should have bought the big bottle because I really love Amber Oud, and I like it because there's no oud. For me, there was no oud in this Amber Oud. It's just more amber to me. But it was a nice juxtaposition of amber, syrupy, honeyed amber. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, warm amber with what do you call it? A bay leaf note. So you're wearing it, you're experiencing this beautiful syrupy honeyed amber, and then you're smelling like these green aromatic leafy kind of bay leaf note. Really, really gorgeous. So amber, benzoin, vanilla with that bay and some woody touches of cedar. Amazing scent. It's sadly discontinued, so I don't know why they've done this and only left Musk Oud from this collection, but if you can get your hands on Amber Oud, I suggest you do, because it's a great, great amber minus oud, because I don't get oud with it at all. Anyway, Amber Oud is at number 13. So the next one is also a part of an atomizer. I never bought the bottle, and I think I should, because I really love this, and I've gotten compliments when I used to wear it a lot when I first bought it. This is LIAISONS Dangerous. So this one's a very, very interesting combination of fruits and rose. You've got peach, plum, and rose. Lots of rose. There's also a musk, blackcurrant. There is a little bit of a coconutty touch, ambrette, and then some sandalwood, but mostly it's a fruity fragrance. And in some warm days when you wear this, it does have nice projection when you're a little sweaty, and people used to compliment with this one a lot. Now, from this collection, I only have 3 fragrances I received compliments on. This one, Rose Oud, and also Straight to Heaven, and this is the first one I'm telling you about. I mean, I probably have received other compliments from the other fragrances, but the ones that really stand out, the more compliments I've gotten, is this one, Rose Oud and Straight to Heaven. But LIAISONS Dangerous is not discontinued, and probably deserve to get a full bottle of it. I think it's a Saks exclusive from what I remember, the video I did with Steve. If you haven't caught that, please do check it out. Anyway, LIAISONS Dangerous is at number 12. A great, great scent if you like fruity fragrances with rose. Okay, this next one was a fragrance that was launched last year in a beautiful, beautiful red bottle. It's Rolling in Love, this one right here. Rolling in Love is a gourmand with some white floral touches, which this brand does great gourmands and white flowers. I think they do a great combination of them. So this one has a powdery touch with iris. There's almonds. The almonds come in, and I think that's where I'm getting the gourmandy touch. There's also Tonka beans here. Don't worry about. I mean, there's also Tonka beans. There's also Tonka beans here. So I feel like almonds and Tonka goes wonderfully together. There's tuberose, vanilla, honeysuckle, ambrette, musk. It's a musky, sexy white flowers, and you know, almonds and Tonka, a vanilla gourmand. It's really, really delicious. If you don't know this one, check it out. I'm hoping soon it'll be part of their regular collection because it was released as a limited edition and they didn't have refills of it. I'm hoping they will in the future. Anyway, number 11, Rolling in Love. This next one is Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme. Another one that uses white flowers with slightly gourmandish notes, but this one has milk. It's a milky, lactonic experience. Tuberose, there's a fruity touch in here with osmanthus, jasmine, amber, narcissus. So it's floral, woody, and some rose, cedar in there. It's a great, great scent. It does smell. It does sound like it's going to be a feminine fragrance, but it doesn't stay ultra feminine. Just like Rolling in Love, I think men can totally pull this one off. And with the male chemistry, I think it goes a little more masculine than feminine. But it is white flowers with, of course, milk in there. Really, really great. And I've only experienced the extreme version, never the other. I mean, I've smelled the other, but I've never worn the original version. Anyway, Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme. It's a great, great scent. So Incense Oud is that number 9. It was one of my favorites. Once again, it was incense, more incense, and hardly any oud, if any. But man, this was a great, great incense fragrance. Ultra green incense. It has like a very forest green smell with incense. So it wasn't like your dark, smoky, although it is smoky, but smells green. It's almost like you're burning greenery that's kind of with like resins growing on this green tree, and it's just the smoke is kind of burning. You could smell it, but it smells fantastic. There's loads of rose in here, patchouli, sandalwood, labdanum. There's ambery touches, but no oud. I just think it's mistitled. I'm hoping now that the Incense Oud is discontinued, they'll rename it and bring it back because it's such a great scent, guys. It smells really, really wonderful. In the end, at the bottom also, it smells like there could be like something like bay leaf or something greenish like that, that's giving me this very unique incense smell. Almost like camphor, eucalyptus, all of those things come to mind with the smell of this incense. It's a great scent. So at number 9, it's Incense Oud. So at number 8, it's Gold Night, this one right here. So I'm glad to finally have this one, and I really love it. I fell in love with it right away, but I waited to get it. And it's all about honey, anise, vanilla, patchouli, bergamot. The combination of the notes is great. If you like licorice and anise and pastis and absinthe, sambuca, ouzo, raki, araki, all that stuff, you will like this fragrance. But just be warned, it's matched with honey, so it's a sweet kind of a smell, almost more like sambuca, because when I drink sambuca, it's a sweet kind of an anise liqueur, and this kind of goes in that direction. But it's really, really gorgeous. The honey and the anise together is really, really delicious. So it kind of goes into a slight gourmand direction, because you know the honey, the vanilla, all of that is really, really wonderful. So Gold Night is great. I love that one. And then this next one, finally have a full bottle. I used to have a refill and use it up, although I had bought it to kind of split with someone a long time ago. This is Apple Brandy, and man, it's so good. So good. It smells like booze, man. It smells really, really good. Oak, vanilla, labdanum, and cedar together. And I think the oak barrel gives me that oak barrel age kind of a smell that's in a liqueur. To me, this smells like what do you call it? Calvados, which there's a fragrance called Promise from Frederick Malle. They're different, but it has that oak barrel aged smell that really gives you that whole true boozy kind of a smell. Really, really delicious. Apple Brandy is so good. One thing I do want to say about this brand, none of the fragrances to me are beast mode. I don't know if you guys experience beast mode, although Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme and also Straight to Heaven Extreme go there, but the rest of the collection I feel like they're very moderate in performance and intensity, if that makes sense. They're pricey, but they have some great, great original smells that I really love, and that's basically what I'm after mostly in this hobby. fragrances that smell original that I love. And anyway, number 7 is Apple Brandy. All right, 6 more to go, guys. So number 6, it's Intoxicated. Intoxicated, yes, does smell a little bit like Amen, but to me, it's more about the cardamom with coffee, and it's a very, very sexy version of Amen, if you like it. It doesn't have that tarish kind of note in Amen, and I don't have a most recent bottle of Amen. I just ordered a bottle, so I'm gonna test it out again to see how they compare. But for me, this is the luxury version of Amen. It smells really, really great. The cardamom is so potent, and when I smell it, it totally smells like Turkish coffee or Arabic coffee with cardamom. Loads of cardamom, loads of coffee, loads of nutmeg, loads of cinnamon. It's really delicious. So that's number 6, Intoxicated. At number 5, it's Back to Black, my favorite honey fragrance. Well, it is my favorite honey fragrance. When I smell it, it smells so delicious. It smells like authentic honey, but the kind of honey that you get that's not your traditional basic honey, a more like an expensive variety that's from like maybe perhaps orange blossom or lavender or some unique of herb or flower that the bee is, you know, taking or doing its honey production with. That's what it smells like. Very, very luxurious honey. That's very expensive, tastes great. Honey, tobacco, cherry, vanilla, raspberry, almonds, gingerbread. It's a great, great gourmand. There's also a little bit of tonka bean and chamomile and benzoin in here as well. Really delicious. Back to Black. Wonderful fragrance. Next, it's a Black Phantom, this one right here. And Black Phantom, another gourmand, another boozy gourmand. They do gourmands really well at this house. Boozy and gourmands are top notch. And Black Phantom is great. Dark chocolate, rum, caramel, coffee, sugar, almonds, sandalwood, heliotrope. Reminds me of stuff you get here in San Francisco at a place called Buena Vista, Irish coffee. You go there for that. They've been doing it since the 60s. Tastes great. That's what it smells like to me, like a chocolatey version of that. Really, really delicious gourmand, really boozy, sweet, chocolatey, amazing. Anyway, that's Black Phantom at number 4. At number 3, it's Love, and I did a video about this last year. Love is a sugar bomb. Caramel, sugar, marshmallows, honey. No honey in this one. This one's honeysuckle, but you have loads of orange blossom and neroli in this one. The honeysuckle does come in as well. There's musk, rose, iris, some civet, and labdanum. It's such a sweet fragrance. It is a tooth-rottingly sweet fragrance. You gotta love sweet to enjoy this one. But to me, it smells like orange blossom ice cream. Very, very delicious smelling. Very, very delicious. If you're Middle Eastern, you probably know this dessert. You put orange blossom in ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and it's mixed together. That's what it smells like. It's authentic smelling, and I just can't get enough of the smell. That's why it's at number 3. Love is at number 3 from by Kilian. This is the fragrance that used to get me a lot of compliments. It's Rose Oud. Sadly, it's at number 2, and sadly, it's discontinued. Well, not sadly, it's at number 2 because I really love the smell, but sadly, it's discontinued. Rose Oud garnered me so many compliments, guys. Amazing compliments. People love this on me. I leave such a trail with this one. The notes are amazing. Rose, oud, saffron, and some Guaiac. It's a creamy. It kind of hints at, you know, something like Back to Black, Tiziana Terenzi's Gold Rose Oud, but this Guaiac note in here makes it much creamy and smooth and ambery to wear, versus those two are on the dry side. Very, very dry. Here, it's the opposite. Very creamy. And for me, I've always mentioned this, like I have dry skin, so smoother, creamier, amberier fragrances last a lot longer on me because of my dry skin versus those dry fragrances. Don't get me wrong, those are pretty intense as well, but this one, amazing longevity for me, amazing performance, and the compliments were just an added bonus. Rose Oud, please bring it back, Kilian. I love this fragrance. And at number 1, it's a tie, Straight to Heaven, and it's Straight to Heaven Extreme. This is a fragrance that started this journey with this brand, and I love this fragrance, and I love it on me, and I love it on other people because it smells great and it leaves a great trail. And when you wear this in the heat, because in the cold, the warmth doesn't you know, come out, but in the heat, the warm notes pop more, and there's dried fruits, there's vanilla, there's rum, there's patchouli, loads of great, beautiful woody notes as well, but it's mostly about the rum, the patchouli, and the dried fruits, vanilla together. And as I said, in the heat, those warmer notes pop, the vanilla and fruity notes, and nicely contrasted with the booziness of the rum and the patchouli. But it's a lot colder and cooler wearing experience when it's cold outside. So it's a different experience. Try it in the summer if you've ever, but you might not do the extreme and just do the regular because it might be too strong. But this is my #1 favorite fragrance from this house. I mean, it's a kind of like goes back and forth, but right now I'm feeling this one a lot. I'm just loving it, the way it smells fantastic. And again, as I said, if you'd like to do a comparison of these two with Ursa from Tiziana Terenzi, let me know. But my #1 fragrance from by Kilian is, my number one fragrance from by Kilian is Straight to Heaven. Anyway, those are those fragrances, guys. Let me know if you're a fan of this house, and let me know what your favorite fragrance is from this house. If you've never tried it, which one sounds great to you? Let me know. I'd like to find out. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please list below. Otherwise, please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.